You talk family, what go on, what go on? This your boy D and Mr. Larry Frank Jr. is in the building. And y'all know how we start off every show. It ain't no us. Without you, baby.
Without you, baby.
Kane Nation, what's going on? You talk family, what's going on? How y'all doing tonight? Y'all know how I start off the show, man. Gotta give a shout out, man, to my guy, the super producer, the man himself, Mr. King Judge. Is in the
DJ
building.
production in the building.
King Judge, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, brother? How you doing? It's Monday night,
KJ.
Larry Frank Jr. It's Monday
Yes, sir.
night.
Yes, sir.
Our Miami Hurricanes, man. I was very impressed with the way they ended the regular season with that win over Duke, man. First of all, brother, how you doing tonight before we get into anything, man? Utah family, what it do?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to the Utah family. Man, doing great. Doing great.
That's what it is. Coke Dog, Cuban Kane. What's
What's up,
going on?
Cuban?
What's going on?
Cuban, I'm not talking basketball tonight, sir. We got too much Miami business to cover. And as far as football,
Larry Frank,
if it ain't Kane related, I'm not talking Steelers stuff either. It's
if it ain't
Kane
Kane
business.
related, you ain't messing with it.
I ain't messing
Brother
with
J
nothing if it ain't
Blaze.
Kane related.
Brother J Blaze, what's up? What's going
Brother
on,
Jay,
boy?
what's up, brother Jay? How
What's
you
up?
doing? How
Joseph
you doing?
Bernard is in the
JB,
building, man. The family is in the building. What's going on, JB? What's up,
JB.
fellas? How y'all doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Larry Frank, man. Hey, a lot of things has happened today, man. A lot of things has happened, man. We
Right.
got a lot to talk about tonight. And
Absolutely.
the first thing I want you to articulate on, man, is the Lincoln Riley to USC, man. Chris Malone, what's up, brother? How you doing? What's going on?
Chris Malone,
Talk to
how
us,
you
man,
doing?
on your thoughts about Lincoln Riley going to USC, man. Larry Frank, what's up?
Listen, Lincoln Riley threw a wrench in that coaching carousel last night. Let me tell you something. Here in Louisiana, they going crazy. They don't know what
Oh
to
yeah,
do. They done lost their mind. Lincoln Riley was their guy. In other words, on the totem pole, it was going to be Lincoln Riley,
James
James
Freeman, what's
Freeman.
up?
What's up, James? What's up, James? On the LSU list of hires, initially it was Mel Tucker. They was going to go for Mel Tucker. Hey, Billy Napier, my guy, he's in Florida. He's just at the wrong school. I wanted him, but hey, he's a couple of miles up the road, and that's gonna be dangerous. That's gonna be dangerous. Florida about to be nasty, but we'll get to that later. But LSU had Mel Tucker initially. He went ahead and got a contract extension. They wanted Jimbo, but Jimbo told him no. He said, "No, I'm not interested. I'm good. I'm staying where I'm at." We'll cover that because I saw that news just broke. We'll
Oh,
cover that.
really,
Brian
Coke Dog?
Kelly.
I didn't even see that. What's up,
It
Coke?
just it just
Oh,
broke. It just broke. Like
oh, really?
literally
Oh, okay,
pre-show, I was looking
okay.
at it on my phone. It just broke. But
Oh, okay.
they wanted
Daryl
Jimbo.
Drakeford, what's up, boy?
What's
What's
up,
going on,
Daryl?
Daryl? What's up?
Daryl, how you doing? They
Jeffrey
wanted
O'Neal, what's up?
Jimbo
My
and
mother,
all of that.
Linda English, what's up?
Hey,
Go
what's
ahead,
up, Miss
Frank.
English? How you doing? J.O., Miss English, how all of y'all doing? Good to
J.O.,
see y'all tonight. Josh Ayers, what's up, brother? What's happening?
what up? Family.
So they wanted Jimbo. Jimbo told them multiple times, no. They went for Dabo in the beginning. He told them no. So what happens? Their last big splash guy was going to be Lincoln Riley. Now, Lincoln, let me tell you how slick he was.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln was quiet. He denied all of the rumors. He denied everything there was to deny. I'm
Sigmund.
good, whatever. Sigmund was happening. So at the end of the day, Lincoln Riley had everybody
Eddie
thinking,
Lloyd.
myself included. Now,
Mm-hmm.
everybody figured Lincoln Riley at LSU was a done deal. Wouldn't have been the greatest hire because the offense would have been nice, but as we know, Lincoln Riley never had defense. LSU made its mark, became known as a defensive school. So, okay, all right, they'll get Lincoln Riley, we assume. Well, just Saturday, Lincoln Riley goes on to say LSU is not in my future. It's not in the possibility. I am not going to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coaches do that all the time. We're gonna
Right.
deflect and we're gonna finish the season, see what happens, and then he's probably gonna go to LSU after.
Mm-hmm.
But when it broke yesterday, Lincoln Riley to USC, I was like, oh my God. he just then threw a wrench in the coaching carousel because LSU was not ready for that. That move to USC single-handedly messed over LSU and Oklahoma at the same time. Exactly, Chris Malone. Lincoln Riley was not crazy about Oklahoma going to the SEC. Why? Because Oklahoma, listen, historical program, they won championships, they're known, all of this, all of that. But Oklahoma has never really had access to money to get the facilities to really be able to compete and come into. You can do this in the Big 12. You can have tail. It's
B&H.
BNH 1975. What's up? You
Just
can
give me
have
1
tail.
second, Larry Frank.
Go ahead.
Everybody, man, shout out B&H, man. He won the contest, man. This week, man. B&H, man, I was waiting on you, big dog. Hey, send me your information, man. I see the email, but I didn't see your size and your address. So get that to me, B&H, man. Congratulations. Sorry about that, Larry Frank. Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, man, you good, you good. So basically, with that hire, he single-handedly pretty much destroyed LSU's future and Oklahoma's future. Lincoln Riley didn't want no smoke with the SEC because in the SEC, you've got to have the facilities. You're not going to get the best of the best in the country if you don't have the best facilities. You can pull that in the Big 12 because you don't really compete with much in the Big 12 except Texas. But in the SEC, you're not stepping toe to toe with LSU as far as their facilities. You're not stepping toe to toe with Alabama as far as their facilities. You're not stepping toe to toe with Florida or Georgia. These are top notch facilities. So Lincoln Riley ain't want that smoke because remember, Texas and Oklahoma is going to the SEC in 3 years. So he goes to USC. Now, LSU, as everybody's saying, the news just broke. It's reported. I'm still going to wait until it's official, but we're just going to assume they've hired Brian Kelly. Well, let me go ahead on and tell y'all why, as far as we're concerned, our situation, we need to be cool. We need to chill. We don't need to get upset. We don't need to get ourselves worried. I am actually feeling good about what Miami's doing in comparison to what LSU and what Oklahoma's going to have to do. These teams are going to have to hire coaches. They're going to have to hire coaches, and guess what? The hires that they're going to make are not going to be guys that they want. Brian Kelly is not going to work at LSU. That is not going to happen. Yes, he's had a good record at Notre Dame, but who has Notre Dame played? Every major game that Notre Dame plays, they either barely scrape by or they lose. Notre Dame has not been a team that you can count on that's going to run the table every year. They just the way they're coached. I mean, he's not going to work at LSU. The gauntlet of the SEC West, and when Texas and Oklahoma comes into the SEC and you have this pod set up, he's not going to run that gauntlet. It's not going to work. Brian Kelly is going to be a failed hire. It's a horrible hire. Now let's look at Oklahoma. Same thing happens there. Bob Stoops is stepping down in the interim right now to coaching for the bowl game. But now Bob Stoops was not expecting to have to hire a coach this soon. He probably figured he was going to have to get one, but not this soon. So who's the top dog on their list as is being said? Brent Venables. Also, has been reported that Josh Heupel is a possibility. Remember, he was the former quarterback of Oklahoma and offensive coordinator under Stoops, but Stoops fired him. So I don't think he would even go back because there's probably some animosity there. So at the end of the day, if he gets Brent Venables, that's great for Miami. That's great for the ACC because that means if Venables goes to Oklahoma, Clemson, guess what? They're gonna crumble. How your boy does with that whatchamacallit, that salt y'all be seeing? He does that number right there. Clemson is about to fall apart because they're not gonna have another great defense like they had under Venables. Nobody else will coach them up like that.
JD,
What's up, JD? What's
brother, what's
happening?
up?
So that is also gonna be a bad hire because at
Groove,
the end
what
of the
up,
day,
bud?
what up, Groove? What's happening? That's also a bad hire. Why? First of all, everybody at Oklahoma is transferring or the recruits are decommitting. Oklahoma is a train wreck right now.
Yeah.
So guess what? At the end of the day, that school had more talent on the offensive side of the ball. Venables is a defensive guy. At the end of the day, I got news for you. When it's all said and done, Venables is not going to be that guy because a defensive guy like Venables with virtually no offense and not much on defense. What's
Trello.
up, Trello? What's happening? Venables, a defensive guy that has virtually limited on what's left on offense, no defense, and what happens? You're talking 6-6, 7-5. Oklahoma's about to fall off. I hear what Josh is saying that LSU made a great hire. I'm sorry. Brian Kelly is not a great coach. What has he done? He could get to the playoff this year. It's going to take some things happening at the end of the day. It's going to take some things happening. Georgia's going to have to knock off Alabama, which I think they will.
It is,
Houston,
Groove.
yep, it is. It's changing.
It is.
Houston's going to have to knock off Cincinnati. I don't necessarily see that happening. Iowa's going to have to knock off Michigan. It could happen, but I don't necessarily see that happening. And Baylor's going to have to knock off Oklahoma State. Too much has to happen for Notre Dame to get into the playoff after this weekend. So what have they done? They've had 2 playoff appearances that I remember. They got stomped in the national championship against Alabama a couple of years ago. And then they got stomped in the first round, I want to say last year against Alabama. So he can get them there, but that's by virtue of a weak schedule and basically running the fit or whatever. At the end of the
72
day,
creature.
what's up, 72 new creature? At the end of the day, Brian Kelly is not a good hire for LSU. Now, how does all this tie into Miami? Why is this good for Miami? Why am I feeling good about why things are not happening? At the end, oh yeah, definitely. And I'll touch on that in a second as well, Josh. Yeah. This is good for Miami for one reason and one reason only. You got teams out here hiring coaches that in the long run are not going to work out. And these are coaches that were not tops on their list. Okay. Miami still is in position to get the coach that it wants. Mario has not been targeted by any of these schools. Lane has not been targeted by any of these schools. We still got to get the AD in place. I'm not thrilled about the time frame of what's happening with Miami, but I am happy that at least they didn't make a rush hire and do the same thing that they've done year in and year out. Basically, what LSU has done and what Oklahoma's about to do is what Miami's done for the course of the last 17, 18 years. They've hired coaches that they really don't want, and it's rush hires. Brian Kelly was being talked about this morning. That's why I'm telling you. They hired him because it's the best name out there that's available, that's willing to take the job. But I guess what? At the end of the day, that's not the guy that they want.
Okay, I'm hearing you saying that we gotta relax and pump our brakes. You know I'm hot because I feel
Yep.
like, man, we always late to the party. So
Right.
maybe you can cool me down, man, and tell me what are you thinking, man? What are we waiting on? I mean, why haven't we hired an AD? Why haven't we said anything about Manny? What do you think our next move is gonna be? And who do you think the AD is going to be?
As far as the search is concerned for the AD, we got to remember there's a search firm that is helping to do with the AD search, helping to work with the AD search. Now, this search firm was put in place by, I'm assuming, the big dogs, the board or whatever, the trustees or whatever, but it is what it is with that. Now, at the end of the day, remember, Jurek, the former AD of Louisville, was the top candidate, was the hot name last week, and it was pretty much rumored that he was going to get the gig. Jurek had a good track record at Louisville, athletics wise. Really brought
Right.
Louisville, did some good things from 97 when he got in. The problem is the Rick Pitino scandal. Remember the scandal Rick
Right.
Pitino had a couple of years
Right.
back? All right.
Right.
Miami don't need no kind. Remember we talked about last week about certain coaches with their baggage? Same
Mm-hmm.
thing applies. Miami ain't going to get a guy that has baggage from an athletic director's perspective or anything happened under his watch. So basically, the firm threatened to pull out if they went ahead and went forward with the Jurek hire or whatever like that. At the end of the day, I still think Alonzo Highsmith will be in charge of the football program. Whether he's the full-time AD or not, I think Alonzo Highsmith will be that dude that is going to call the shot one way or the other. They may wind up getting another
Mark
turnkey.
Alexander.
That's the group right there, turnkey. That's the search firm. Thank you, Mark Alexander. Alonzo Highsmith, in my opinion, will be in charge of the football program one way or the other. If he's just football ops and not the overall AD, then they'll probably get another person that has that AD experience. But Alonzo is going to have complete control of the football program. And at the end of the
Okay.
day, the time frame is getting settled in. They're gonna have to make it happen because National Signing Day, the 15th, is two
Yes.
weeks, 2 weeks from this Wednesday. So you got to get it. You got to get it.
Right.
You got to get it in place. I think it happens this week. I think it has to happen this week because This is bowl season is about to commence, and all these coaches that have quit, gotten fired, whatever the case may be, they ain't coaching in the bowl games. So I really believe it's going to happen. So if Alonzo gets that football ops or any way has control, man, he's out of here. So just be patient. We're going to get that AD situation is going to get itself worked out. Now, as far as a coach, it's going to be 50-50 as we all been saying. It's going to be Lane or it's going to be Mario. If it's not either one of them, it's an outside shot that you could be looking. Now, Napier's gone. He's at Florida, so he's off the table. Campbell ain't going to leave where he's at. PJ Fleck ain't going to leave where he's at. All the other guys we name ain't going to leave. Lincoln Riley was never a possibility.
No.
The only other person I can possibly see Miami giving a shot to, and that name is not being mentioned, but they could be Tom Herman. That's the only other person, if for some strange reason, let's say Mario takes an extension at Oregon, if they get him some money, and if Lane decides he wants to stay at Ole Miss or even not go to Ole Miss, go somewhere else, that's the only person I can see Miami reaching out to. But honestly, I don't think that happens. I think it's Mario or Lane.
Mario Lane. So, what's your thoughts on our former offensive coordinator officially taking the job at SMU? What's your thoughts on that, man? You know, I'm a Red Lashley guy. I thought the offense was definitely, the last 6 games, I thought we seen him come on, but he's definitely gone, and I think that's important, man, on who's gonna be the next head coach, man, to keep the development of Tyler Van Dyke, going forward instead of regressing. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Um, in a way, I'm sorry to see him go because I know it stumps. Yeah, Josh, I don't know about Mark Stoops, bro. I don't know about Mark Stoops because he was on the ceiling for LSU, so I don't think he leaves. I don't think he leaves.
That's a
Mark,
good
I
one,
like
Mark.
Derek
That's
Mason
a
as a
real good
defensive
one, yeah.
coordinator. After what I saw over the weekend with Auburn and
Yeah.
Alabama, Derek Mason I could live with. But getting back to your question, D, I initially wasn't happy about it because I felt like it would stunt the growth of TVD.
Yeah.
But then it dawned
Hmm.
on me. If Rhett Lashley doesn't take that job, that's a ball in Manny's court to possibly be retained because now he can plead his case that, you know what, my offense is already progressing. I got my offense coordinator right here.
That's
All
true
I need
too.
is a defensive guy. We got more money on the staff. Let me get a defensive guy. We were only 9 points away from being 9-2.
OG Kane, what up?
What up, OG Kane? We're only 9 points away from being 9-2 on the season. So at the end
Right.
of the day, when it's all said and done, yeah, I'm not crazy about Lashley leaving as far as TVD is concerned, but I'm happy he left because now, guess what? You have no OC. So what kind of experience, what kind of explanation can you give to plead your case to keep your job? Because at the end of the day, guess what? You've already proven that the guy you had before that you hired in Dan Enos, it didn't work out. So you ain't got Rhett. Who out there offensively can you get to come in real quick that's going to save you? Not happening. Not happening at all. By Rhett leaving, in my opinion, that indirectly makes Manny's chances of being retained a little bit tougher. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
James Hikes, man, Mario or Lane, man. And James, if it's me, I'm going Lane. That's just me. I just feel like you got to bring somebody in that can keep the development of Van Dyke, man, where it's at, man. I mean, you got to get somebody that's running kind of the same offense that Red is running, man. And I think Lane can take him over the top. That's just my opinion. What about you, Larry? Who would you rather have?
It's got to be
Super
Lane.
Mario, man, or Lane?
Gotta be Lane. Gotta be Lane. Nothing against Mario, because listen, Mario is that dude. Yeah, and we talked about that last week, James, about Rhett, if he would leave, taking some of these offensive guys with him. That was one of my fears. And there you go. There it is. So I think they have to take that into consideration. What you're losing on the offensive side of the ball. You have to go offense to keep everything. It's a lot easier to bolster, and boost that defense up and get help for the defense and get a defensive coordinator than it is to have to totally start over from scratch with this offense. This offense is doing too good. You have weapons. You have too many great pieces. All you have to do is keep the train rolling. No pun intended. You saw what Lane did with Matt Corral. All right. Imagine what he'll do with TVD. And guess what? TVD has more weapons than what Matt Corral has at Ole Miss. Now, Lane just locked in Arch Manning as a commit for Ole Miss, but Arch Manning is a junior, Peyton and Eli's nephew, Archie's grandson. That happened today. Now, here's the thing about that. And this goes back to what Josh Ayers was saying. I believe so as well, James. I think Lane wants to come to Miami as well because it's the easier path to the playoff. At the end of the day, I want you guys to look at USC. Let's look at their situation right quick, okay? Too many similarities here, all right? USC is a private school, just like Miami, a private school. USC has the history and the tradition, and they've been doing things in the past, just like Miami. Same thing. USC last good thing, heyday. What's up, Hurricane UCJ 87?
Hurricane
What's going on, man?
UCJ 87. What's up, brother?
Just like in the past, USC's heyday happened in the mid 2000s with Reggie Bush and the Pete Carroll era. Pretty much the same time as Miami's did towards the end, that middle 2004, 2005, and it all fell apart. So USC, the only difference with USC and Miami, they've been a little bit more stable in the last couple of years than what Miami has. But at the end of the day, USC, we said it on a show a while back, it's almost like it's a West Coast version of Miami. You just got beautiful weather and everything out there in LA, just like you got down here. It's an easier path to the playoff in the Pac 12. It's an easier path to the playoff in the ACC. And now, if Brent Venables takes that job at Oklahoma, who's standing in your way? If you have Lane Kiffin as your head coach and Lane has this offense rolling like we know he will, who's stopping him? Virginia Tech is not going to defend that. Duke ain't defending it. North Carolina ain't defending it. And nobody on the Atlantic side is going to defend it. Florida State won't be no threat. So at the end of the day, you have to go with Lane Kiffin for the offensive sake
You
side
have
of
to.
the ball.
You have
Now,
to.
defensively, you got more money in the budget. So guess what? Use it.
Be
Get
Mike.
a Derrick Mason. Get your boy Corey Raymond that I've been screaming. Give him a shot. Hey, why not TVD? I'm sorry, T-Rob. I'm sorry. Why not T-Rob? You know what I'm saying?
True.
You have options and you have players. Now, I want to touch on something that Josh Ayers said because Josh was leading in and he made a great point. Talked about the players. With what's going on with the coaching carousel, you're seeing it with Oklahoma. Players are decommitting. Players are getting in the transfer portal. Players are leaving. It's important to remember people are saying, well, what about the class? What about the class? Miami only has 9 guys committed. That's it. They have nothing else. 9 guys. 9 guys. So what does that mean? If you lose a couple of those guys, oh well, that's cool. You have 25 in a class. Plus you have a player for player swap on the transfer portal. The NCAA allowed you up to 7 over the 25. Now, for those who may not understand, what does that mean? It means for every player that transfers out over your 25 allotment, you can bring one in as an even swap. What have we had this year? You had Wiggins leave, you had Pope leave, you had Jennings leave, you had what? Gervin Hall left? That's 4. Somebody else left. I can't think offhand. Who's the other one? Or was it somebody else?
You said Jennings, right?
Jennings, Hall, Wiggins, and Pope. Somebody else had transferred out as well.
Yeah, it was somebody else. I can't think of who it was. Who was it, you
Kansas City
guys in the chat?
Carcel. What's up? Chad, help us out. Who was
Yeah,
the
what
other
up?
transfer that we had? Who was the other transfer that we had? And there you go. So basically what I'm saying is this. You've got 4 guys that we can call, pretty much 5, because I know it's somebody else we're missing that transferred out. You're not going to get a full 25-man class. So at the end of the day, let's just say you did. Let's just say you had some real solid, top-notch recruiting going on, and you nail it, and you get a 25-man class, okay? Then you would have 4. That means you could take 4 transfers over the 25. Where normal, Williams, what Williams is that? Defensive line. I can't call his name. He transferred early in the season, I want to say.
Williams, defensive line.
Was he the defensive lineman? It was a transfer early in the season. We got those 4: Hall, Wiggins, Pope, and Jennings. Cameron Williams, the lineman, the one that was dancing when they were losing last year. That's him.
I thought it was Holly. That's Jahar Holly. That's Holly.
Is it Holly?
I think
Okay.
Holly transferred. Yeah,
Okay.
Jalal
All right.
Holly.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's what it was.
5.
The defensive
Jeremiah
lineman, but he was a
Payton.
defensive lineman though.
He was.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Payton is 6. N'Kosi Perry is 7.
Quentin Williams, he transferred. Williams transferred too. I didn't know
Oh
that.
wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's a lot. Cam Williams.
Oh,
No, Chance still on the
he's
team.
still here.
Chance is still on the team. Chance is still on the team. So that's 7. That's 7. That's 7 right there. Quentin Williams. That's 7 right
Coke
there.
Dog. I didn't know Quentin transferred Coke Dog. I thought he was still down there.
Basically, to break that down right there. If you get Lane or Mario, you're going to get their recruits. You're going to get their recruits, and you're going to get some of their players. Okay, guy got kicked off. All right. Just like right now, Spencer Rattler, the Oklahoma quarterback, he's in the portal. Okay.
Yeah, I seen that.
He's in the portal. Okay. Hazelwood, the wide receiver, he's in the
Lee?
portal.
What's going on, buddy?
What up, Lee? What's going on? He's in the portal. Being reported that the quarterback that benched Rattler is going to transfer out. Guess what? He's a California kid. You know where he going. He going with his coach. And that's what we said before. As coaches take jobs, you're going to lose players because you have to look at the situation that certain players that ain't getting the depth, certain players that ain't getting their opportunity, they're going to leave. But that's an opportunity there because now as these coaches come in, you're going to have the recruits because nowadays kids don't commit to the school anymore. They're committing to the coaches. It ain't like it used to be where you grow up and you want to be a Kane. Very seldom is it happening. Yes, the linebacker, the Maryland linebacker, he's in the portal as well. Very seldom do you have a kid right now that is going to commit to a school. These guys are committing to coaches. So if you get the right coach in here that has something, you can bring those players in. Lane just locked in also today the number 1 guy in Mississippi. He's a linebacker. He's a 4-star linebacker, top dog in Mississippi. So I'd love to get that because God knows we need linebacker help. So if a coach comes in, if it's Lane or Mario, they got to work to salvage the class that you got. Keep the 8-9 guys that you got. They'll probably bring some of their guys that they were recruiting to their schools they were at, and then they can hit the portal.
Hold on, Larry, we got a call.
Let's go with it.
Real quick. It's Utah. Caller, state your name and where you calling from. Caller, you there?
It's your boy, the Italian stallion, James Freeman. What's up, boys?
My brother.
Freeman, what's up, man?
What's up, brother Freeman?
It's Utah, baby.
What's up, Freeman?
You know it.
Talk to us.
What's up?
Well, so let's talk. Listen, Larry was on a roll. And he knows his stuff, and that's why him and me have been boys for 4 or 5 years now and so forth. And what I'm going to add to this is this, because this needs to be talked about. This is the gospel according to the stallion. Right now, you are about to see a change in the landscape of college football. We have talked about that, but what about the change in the ACC? If Venables goes to Oklahoma, which at this point, I don't think Heupel's going to leave Tennessee for that job. I mean, they really passed gas right in his face. Realistically, they did. And he's happy at Tennessee. I mean, they're going to be fine with him there finishing 2nd or 3rd in the SEC East behind Georgia and Florida. You know, that's basically what's going to happen there. But at the same time, Mark Stoops might be the one that takes that Oklahoma job and goes with Big Brother. But if that doesn't happen, I think they're all in Oklahoma for Venables. And why that's important and why we're talking about that is look what's going on right now. Virginia Tech is going to find a coach. Wasn't Justin Fuente 6 years ago supposed to be the hot commodity, and now he's unemployed? Same goes for someone like Tom Herman. Those two guys were can't miss. They were 1A, 1B, and look what happened. They get hired at Virginia Tech and Houston, and they're not even there, or Texas, and they're not even at those places no more. Okay, so Virginia Tech is open. Duke is open. Not that that's anything, but you know, who does Duke think they're going to get? You know, I mean, that's a basketball school, and David Cutcliffe. David Cutcliffe, I mean, I hate to say it, we lost to this guy. We lost this guy a couple of times and so forth, and he was the best thing to happen to them. So, the wheels were falling off already, so that's not much of a threat. Pitt's losing all their 6-year seniors. Bronco Mendenhall hasn't done nothing at Virginia. I mean, it's a criminal that we actually lost that game this year to him, because he's running like 4 guys to play quarterback. He don't even know what he's doing. It's not Boise State over here. It ain't the Mountain West Conference or whatever he was used to dominating over there out there in the Pacific. But the point is Mac Brown. I mean, did anybody see Mac Brown last week? They absolutely choked to get NC State. I wish that they would never play their best game against us. That's all they do is play their best game against Miami. They choke against everybody else, and he's going to be shown the door, here in a week or so, or a couple years or whatever at this point. He don't have his Sam Howell no more. He don't have his diamond in the rough or them running backs running the ball no more. That stuff is done. So this has got to be a monumental hire, and Lane is licking his chops for this job. He is. And listen, let Venables be Bud Foster over at Oklahoma. That's fine and so forth. The thing is if Clemson loses Venables, that's another chink in their armor right now. Bad evaluations along their offensive line. And we know that you cannot do nothing without a good offensive line or defensive line. And here's the thing that I don't understand. Why is everybody knocking Lane Kiffin's recruiting? I mean, here's the thing. Once upon a time, he took Bryce Brown right out of Miami's back. He was supposed to go to Miami because of his brother Arthur Brown. And sure enough, Lane swoops in and makes that boy flip from Miami to Tennessee. He played 1 year and then he left, but it doesn't matter. The thing is Lane can recruit when he really wants to. And the thing is if it's not him, he's going to hire a staff around him to make sure they recruit and get the guys in there. He's going to be the face of the program. He's going to dial it up, and he's going to use what we have right now that can make this work. What do you guys say about that?
I'm all on board with the Lane train, because Lane, first of all, this is the thing. People don't like Lane because they're looking at his history. And I'm telling people left and right, people need to get up off of that. Lane was young.
Yes.
Lane was in his 30s when all of this happened. USC was his dream job. Did he do Tennessee wrong? Yes, he did Tennessee wrong, but he was in his 30s. What do people expect? And then he goes to USC, and he craps the bed over there, and then he gets fired or whatever. And then he goes to Alabama to kind of retool himself under Saban. That's the thing that people don't understand. Lane is right now trying to put himself in position to get that marquee job at that marquee program. Lane is still late 40s, so he's got a good 20 years or whatever left in him. And at the end of the day, he's been to the NFL. I don't see Lane going back to the NFL because that ship has gone and passed. Lane wants to be, in my opinion, at a school where he can build his brand and build who he is and establish his career for the long term. And I truly believe if Lane comes to Miami, people are saying he's going to leave. I don't think he leaves, because guess what? If Lane at this stage in his career, in his life, gets to Miami, gets Miami on a level of respectability and being competitive and making the playoff and all of that, and he leaves, where will Lane go? The only place Lane can possibly go is to Alabama. That's the only place. If he's to get Miami on that level, he's not going nowhere else. Because Miami would be back. And guess what? Whoever gets this job, if they can get Miami in the playoff, do you know the respect and the greatness that's going to fall upon them and their reputation? Because guess what? We want the U to be back. So the coach that gets the U to be back, you know what? That he will go down in the annals of greatness because you brought the U back.
You're right. You're right.
Yes,
Here's the other thing, too. Here's the other thing that needs to also be talked about, and I loved everything you said right there. Why are we crucifying a mistake that the guy made in his 30s? We've all made mistakes in our 30s, okay? And the thing is he has grown, he learned, and here's the other thing. He still got his father in his ear, and maybe he thought that he was strong-headed and didn't need to listen to his father. I think now he is listening to his father, and if he does go to get that Miami job, and you're right, he's not going to make the same mistake. Maybe the NFL gives him a thing or something at that point. But the the thing is, he crapped out in the NFL, and it wasn't for him. But he needs to look at Butch. He needs to look at Jimmy. Jimmy was successful with the Cowboys, so I'll give him that. But I'm thinking about Howard going for the USFL and all that, and how that crapped out on him. And what all those guys have said in a nutshell was, if there was any other job that wasn't the NFL, if they would have known what would have been, hindsight's always 20/20, they would have stayed at Miami, and we would have gotten the years that Florida State got out of Bobby Bowden. That's
Right.
the facts right there. Honestly, those are facts. So Lane ain't going to make that same mistake again. The other thing too is this, and maybe I'm just way off base, but I watched that Auburn-Alabama game last Saturday, and I looked at Alabama. I looked at Nick Saban particularly, and I just don't know if he's just finished with this season, if he's looking to next year, if he's got something in the pipeline or whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. That man is starting to look every bit of his age in his 70s, and there could be that time where he might want to leave at this point and so forth. You know, he looks around. He's not stupid. He's looking around and he's seeing the change in the landscape of things. And I'll tell you this. If Dabo's going to go to Alabama, now's the time for him to do it, because if Venables goes to Oklahoma, his coaching stock goes way down, because
Yes.
I think he's always been surrounded by the fact that he's had good coordinators and assistants, and all those guys are gone. And so, like I said, Lane's going to get the people in place that can recruit, evaluate the talent, and you don't have to look nowhere else but Florida for the skill guys. And then he'll bring in some people that have some connections and pipelines, and bring in those big uglies up front on both sides of the ball that are going to make it happen.
Yes.
The other thing that I want to talk about is, and I want everybody to just get this out off their head. There is absolutely no way, after what has been done in the last 48 hours, that Miami can keep Manny Diaz. There's absolutely no way. I want everybody to get that out of their head. If they do that, that is suicide. Forget about 3 years of losing. That's a 20-year loss if that happens, guys. That just is just smoke and mirrors, because you made a statement by listening to what Game Day had to say in Kirk Herbstreit and what Dez had to say, and basically you got rid of Blake James. There is absolutely no way you bring in a guy like Alonzo or somebody like that. He's just in charge of football, and you bring in somebody else that handles all the other stuff. Like, there's no way that you do that and you keep Manny. I mean, you look at that game on Saturday. Duke was pathetic, but you look at how Miami played. I mean, look at who your special teams coach is in Jonathan Patke, and that is a Manny Diaz guy. I mean, we cannot have that. We cannot absolutely have that. I mean, I almost want this. If for some reason Manny does get let go in the next few days or whatever, and I believe that's what's going to happen, I think you're going to have an announcement as soon as Sunday or Monday, to be absolutely honest with you. But that being said, as soon as that's done, since Bob Stoops has taken over Oklahoma for the bowl game or whatever coming up, I want to make sure that Don Soldinger comes back to coach special teams, so we don't allow another damn punt return or kick return to be returned, because I'm sick of it, man. We are so pathetic on special teams. It's not even funny. They should almost be called special education teams at this point, honestly, because it is that bad.
It's Utah, baby.
It's coached by one man. It's coached by one man who was brought in by Manny Diaz. And actually, to be honest with you, Mark Richt promoted this guy from a grad assistant when they got that extra coach that they could hire. They made this guy an extra coach to coach outside linebackers. Why do you need two guys to coach linebackers? That's what I don't understand. And the saddest part about it is they still, between the two of them, couldn't recruit anybody with a pulse at that position. The only thing is, and here's another thing, and I'm going to leave it at this with Manny, because there's nothing else that needs to be talked about. We cannot stress enough that the young guys only got an opportunity because the dudes in front of them got hurt. Whether it was unfortunate because they were some talented guys that were hurt, like Bubba Bolden and De'Eric. But let me just ask you this, guys. Wouldn't it have been nice if we could just press the reset button on this season? And let's just say that, De'Eric's not ready to come back, and you roll out Van Dyke first game against Alabama. I ain't saying we win. I'm not saying that. But I'll tell you this. I'd like to have a quarterback that has 2 knees and 2 shoulders to throw the ball against Michigan State, because I think that game is completely different with balls not only being dropped, but receivers being overthrown. Charleston Rambo would probably be at 1,300 or 1,400 yards at this
Easy.
point if that boy's playing all year long. There's something about Van Dyke, man. There's something about these young guys, and they ain't afraid to show it. And like I've said before, and I've preached it, I'm going to say it until somebody listens to me that actually has some pull at that university. For the love of God, get this staff away from these guys before they develop any bad habits, as previous decent players have with other staff that were even more inept than what we have at the moment. I mean, those are facts right there. And last but not least, we cannot, and I repeat, cannot squander this opportunity to get rid of that, because the young guys were only playing because of the injuries that happened. And look what happened. They got the opportunity. They showed out. That's what Brother Melvin Bratton said last week, is competition breeds success. That's what he said last week. And the truth of the matter is anybody that's afraid, that doesn't want to compete against the Jake Garcias and the Tyler Van Dyke, we don't want them here at quarterback, honestly. Right. Same with the tailbacks, same with the receivers, and anybody that wants to play offensive line and is actually good and can bench press over 300 pounds or so forth can absolutely come in and start day one and block for these guys and just enjoy lifting them up in the air in the end zone celebrating, because that's what we've been doing. And that's what needs to be done. And here's my question for you guys, and I'll let you get off here to get some other guys on here. In your opinion, what bowl game do you think Miami gets to? And this is important to me for a reason, okay? I know some people say that, like, oh, you know, why bother having it and blah, blah, blah. That's extra practices for these young guys, and I really want them to just one more time show out. Because here's the thing, as bad as it was this season, I enjoyed watching Van Dyke in the offense do something, and now with Lashley gone, it's going to be something different. So I guess my question to you guys is, do you have in mind what bowl game it would be, and what the opponent would be in that said bowl game?
It'll probably be the same bowl from last year. What that was, that bowl in Orlando, the Russell Athletic.
The Cheez-It Bowl? The Cheez-It Bowl?
The Cheez-It Bowl, yeah. It'll probably be that. And I mean, just because of the records, man, kind of identical, you know?
Something regional. I mean, the Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando, isn't the Gasparilla Bowl down there somewhere in Florida?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Right, I think it is. I'd love to see the Gators. If we could get the Gators, I mean, that would be amazing just to have that game. You know, that honestly, I don't want to play a Pac-12 team in the Sun Bowl or whatever it's called now and so forth. I mean, that would just be miserable. That would be miserable.
I think you're looking at a matchup against an SEC team. I'd love for it to be the Gators. And honestly, I mean, I'm biased here, but I want LSU. That's just me. I just want my opportunity.
That could happen. That could happen in the Belk Bowl. That could happen in that Duke Mayo Bowl in Charlotte. That could actually happen. So, and I'd love to get another shot at them. Honestly, I would.
I would too, because I got bragging rights on the line.
Absolutely, you do. Being a Louisiana guy, absolutely you do. And here's the other thing: we need to get into that pipeline now too. With Lane, he can get into the pipelines. I mean, like you said, you get guys like Reggie Wayne and Ed Reed. They all came from Louisiana. I mean, you know, you got to kind of hit up Texas a little bit too. Georgia as well has kind of become a new landscape, and I just think that they need to have guys that really want to recruit and bring in people, because the thing is that I feel we've been lazy on the recruiting trail with the last few staff, and that just cannot happen. That just can't happen. And we have an opportunity to stake our claim in there and start a dynasty, own the ACC. And you know what? With house money being in the ACC, I'd like to see what's going to happen when we get to that playoff 4 against whatever the SEC brings. And if Lincoln Riley's there with USC, and, you know, Aranda with Baylor, or whoever's going to be coming out of there from the Big 12 or the Big 10, and let's go. That's what I say. The future's bright, baby. The future's bright. And all I'm going to say is that we can all celebrate with a beer or whatever you want to drink on Sunday or Monday, because Manny's done. And if he isn't, I'm telling you, we got bigger problems than just football. We do. Guys, I love you. Go Canes. And it's always about the U.
That's what's up. We love you too, brother.
Back at you, James.
It's you talk, baby.
Man, you know it feel good, man. That's like a breath of fresh air when James called, man.
All the
James
time.
lay it down.
All the
I
time.
mean, it just feels good to have everybody in the chat, man. Like everybody got good points.
They
Everybody.
do.
You talk
They
family,
do.
man, bring it. Cole
They
Breezy,
do.
what's up, boy? What's going on?
What's up, Cole Breezy? What's happening? What's happening?
Daryl, you a fool, boy. I'm with you too, man. Everybody with you, Daryl.
Look,
We
I
got a
want to.
caller.
All right, let's go. I know who this is.
As you talk, caller, state your name and where you're calling from.
Man, that was a great call. We're gonna follow up a great call. It's a horrible call.
Hang up on this
Let's
dude, man.
talk business first. So, Saturday we played this Duke team, great team, very competitive, tough team, and I think, like after that game, I think Manning should stay because Manning's the greatest coach ever. Do you know who I sound like? I sound like a Bulls fan talking about they're gonna beat the Heat. Get that crap out of here. Sorry ass Bulls. Where's Larry Heat at? Where's Larry Heat at? Sound like a Manny Diaz fan over there. Hey, Larry Heat. Where you at, Larry Heat? Talking all that trash. Where are you? Nice and quiet like a church mouse. Hey, those sorry teams go.
I'm quiet.
Damn.
I'm quiet because I ain't gonna cuss on this program. That's why.
The Bengals have scored again. Jesus, come on.
I took the Bengals. Actually,
Larry
I
Heat.
took the Bengals. I won money on the Bengals.
I don't want to hear that, Mr. Larry Heat. Mr. Larry Heat. What happened to your sorry Chicago Bulls, man? What happened? Talk to me.
They lost. That's what happened. I don't run. They lost.
Talked to you all weekend, Mr. What's all that trash you were talking about? Just wait.
I gotta eat it. What you want me to do? I gotta eat it. I gotta eat it. What you want me to do? I'm a man about mine. I ain't
He be like he don't want a championship, but he trying to go ahead and get it on out, man. He like he don't want him a chip already, man. He still got like 60-something games. I already done dust you off this year, Cuban King, so you can't say nothing to me.
Yeah, bro.
Go on and talk about your
trophy-minded people up here calling, man. Get that man a
Mr. Larry, he
participation
was
trophy.
talking all that trash.
I'm talking. That's what I do.
And now he's all quiet like a church mouse.
Look at Made in Day. Look at Made in Day.
Man, the Bulls fans is right here. I ain't running. I'm right here.
Last thing, Mr. Larry Heat. Who has a better record, Mr. Larry Heat? Who has a better record, Mr. Larry Heat?
One game, bro. Really?
That's what I'm talking about.
One game.
All right, let's talk about real. Let's talk about what's happening.
Please.
So let's talk about what's happening in college football. Riley going to USC changed the recruiting map.
Yes.
I don't think Kelly was a good match going to LSU, but Notre Dame's main recruiting base was California. And he said, I got to get out of here because I'm not getting no more LA recruits. He's like, LSU's giving me his money. I'm going to LSU. Kirby owns the Southeast. Nobody owns Florida. I am not a Mario fan. Mario's not going to get any. Mario's recruiting class is going to start going down from here on out. I'm not a Mario fan, but if Mario comes to Miami, he will own Florida. These coaches need to wake up. That's why I think Lane and Mario want to come to Miami because it's like, hey, these recruiting maps are starting to get blocked out. The North belongs to Ole Miss and Michigan. No, the North belongs to Ohio State and Michigan. Right. The West belongs to USC. The Southeast belongs to Kirby. Florida doesn't belong to anybody. And Texas, I think, belongs to Jimbo. Right? We need to be a little bit smart about this. I don't know what's going on with the administration or whatever, but this is time to play big boy basketball. The TV, these TV media companies are happy that USC is back or coming back, but now they want Miami back. Because imagine a championship game with Miami and UNC. It will break records.
Yep.
Right? We got to get this right. The only thing I'm scared of, man, I've been telling Larry Frank this weekend, I'm a little scared that we're keeping Manny. I just don't trust his administration, man. I really don't. And I'm kind of really already thinking, like, what's the staff going to look like if Manny's a head coach? Because I don't think a lot of these current coaches are going to stay. T-Rob, I think, is going to go. Who else is going to be on the staff? I don't even know. You know, like I'm trying to
maybe
prepare
DVD.
myself for the worst. Yeah, TVD, right? The whole offensive staff, I think, is going to go to SMU.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, this is looking a little bit scary. The only positive thing, I think this team is led by James Williams and Tyler Van Dyke. I don't think it really matters who the coach is, because if you have those two on the offense and defense, I think you're going to be all right. But Mistake Manny will mess this up. That's the only thing that I'm scared of. But what's going on in college football now is just recruiting. This recruiting map is getting restructured, and we need to pay attention to that because, like I said, Nick Saban's not getting any more players out of California. That is pretty much closed, you know. So we need to make a big boy decision, and you know, just step up and grow the hell up. So that's what I got. Got nothing else, you know. Just Mr. Live Frank, your Bulls are garbage, your Steelers are garbage, and I'm out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's you talk, baby.
Duly noted. Duly noted.
Larry Frank, man, listen, man. Listen, man, talk to us, man. Talk to us, man. So, with everything going on at the end of the day, we're going to get out of here tonight, y'all. We wanted to come on real quick, man. But everything going on, give me your pick for AD. What's your prediction? Y'all put it in the chat. I want to see everybody for AD and head coach. Who you got, Larry Frank? Talk to me. Let me see y'all in the chat. Who you got, AD and your coach? Let me see.
I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer for AD. I think what they're going to do, I think they're going to go with Alonzo being over the football ops for sure with whatever qualified AD there is. I can't really give you a name. I mean, you had that guy, Patrick Chung. You got Mac Rhodes at Baylor. I'd love to see them make a run at him. Jurick's already been disqualified from Louisville. So I think they're going to get an AD that has done it and ran the position. But I think the realization has been set that they know Miami, the face of Miami has to be football, and football has to be the priority. And for that, Alonzo Highsmith will be in charge of the football part of it. So that's how I'll go. I'll go Zoe over football with an AD to be named later, whoever that may be. For as coach, I want Lane. I'm hoping for Lane. I'm praying for Lane. But I'm thinking they may actually go Mario because of the hometown connection. And I'm not a fan of that. Nothing against Mario. I just think Lane is the better option for Miami. Lane brings more charisma. Like I said before, people always talk about the seating and at the Rock and how you don't have the stands filled. You get Lane Kiffin, you get a charismatic guy. That's must see TV. Fans are going to go to the Rock because they're going to want to see this high-powered offense. They're going to want to see Lane being Lane and Lane having fun. I can't wait to see post-game press conferences. I mean, just the charisma. You see he's trolling on Twitter. He's acting a fool on Twitter right now. He's doing all kind of stuff. That is what we need. You've had too many of these stick in the mud guys, these self-righteous guys, these straight edge guys, and it hasn't worked. Miami is the type of university, these players are charismatic players. You need a charismatic coach. Like I said, he's not Jimmy Johnson, but it's a Jimmy Johnson type situation. Remember how charismatic Jimmy was? And you saw how the players adapted to that. So let's make history repeat itself. You got a charismatic guy in Lane and let that happen. And real quick before we get out of here, I just wanted to make a point on Billy Napier. I said this at the beginning of the show that I wanted to highlight this. Yes, Brian Kelly has been hired in Louisiana. He's been hired at LSU. Okay, cool. But guess what? Billy Napier is about to make Florida nasty because Billy Napier's got all of these relationships that he built with these high school coaches here in Louisiana. Now, you couldn't out-recruit LSU when you was at Louisiana Lafayette, but you at Florida now, partner. You at Florida now. And LSU is a train wreck right now. Yeah, they got Brian Kelly, but guess what? They still a train wreck. Billy Napier is going to invade Louisiana. He's going to pull some of them studs out of Louisiana, and he's going to bring them to Florida. Watch what I tell you. And that's why I kind of wanted him at Miami if we couldn't have got the other ones, because I knew that pipeline to Louisiana would have been automatic with Billy Napier. So watch out. That's all I'm going to say. You better get it right. You better get Lane, because with Billy Napier down there, you don't want Billy Napier recruiting against Mike Norvell at Florida State and Manning, because that's a battle we're going to lose on both sides. Just saying.
That's what's up, man. Utah family, man. Hey, it's been real, man. It's been real. When you guys get a minute, man, like I say, go to the check out the website whenever you get a minute. UTalkSportsShow.com. You can get all your merchandise from there. You can email me too. Your size. Who was that one? That wasn't that BNH. I think he won.
Yeah,
Make sure
B&H
you
1975.
send me your size and your address. And man, we're gonna be going to a new schedule. Since the season is finished, we're gonna be going to once a week until we regroup. I've been traveling a little bit, y'all, and I'm tired, so we're gonna take a little time off, man.
Right.
Come back Friday, definitely 8 o'clock. And I'm gonna come back until we get an AD. Let's just put it like that, Larry Frank.
Yes,
Until we
sir.
figure out who we're gonna hire and
We
a
got
coach.
to.
We'll be back once a week on Fridays at 8 o'clock, y'all. So I'll let you know the schedule whenever we get everything situated. And we got some other stuff going on too. If you go to my Instagram, you talk sports show. Go to Utah Sports Show. I'll put the radio station up where the show's going to be aired at. Let you guys know the radio stations and everything where you can listen to the show on the radio as well. So, man, it's been real, man. You know, it's Kane Nation over here. Y'all already know. We love you guys, man. Y'all stay safe. I hope everybody had a happy, safe Thanksgiving. And we'll be back on Friday night at 8 o'clock sharp. Larry Frank, let it blow. Give you the parting words, brother.
Man, look, always love to the chat. Always love to the Utah family. Always love to you, man. Everybody, man. And I'm going to say this, man. I'm hoping when we come back on Friday, the first thing we will be able to say, breaking news, the University of Miami has just hired Alonzo Highsmith or whoever. And breaking news, it has just been announced that the University of Miami has mutually agreed with Manny Diaz to part ways. Christmas couldn't come no sooner for me if that would happen. That's all I'm going to say.
That's what's up, man. James, send me your address, man. It depends on the size. I got a couple of them left. We on back order like crazy, man. But send me your size. Definitely send you out a hat, man. Man, you're faithful, bro. So you already know I'm sending that out. But again, man, we'll be back on Friday, you guys, man. I love all y'all. Everybody stay safe, man. Come on, man. Let's do these shout outs, man, in the chat, man. Josh Ayers, what it do?
Chris Malone,
Chris
James
Malone,
Freeman,
BNH 1975, JD, Brother J,
Cuban
Blaze,
Bulls,
Kane City, what it do, boy?
Cuban
B
Bulls,
Mike, what's up, B Mike? BNH, King of Battle. What's going on, big dog? James Freeman,
Byron
Daryl
McKenzie,
Drakeford, Jay Stokes, what up, man? Josh
Trello,
Ayers, of course. Samuel Kennedy. What's going on, man? Did I miss
JD,
anybody, man? JD, man, my partner. Benny Barrett, Maiden Dave. What's going on? Colt Dog, what up, boy? Cole Breezy, what up?
Cole Breezy, my homeboy. My homeboy was at the
What it
Bayou
do? What
Classic
it do?
flexing, boy. I seen you. I seen you up
What
there.
it do? What it
Even
do?
though
Dickie
our
Dunn, what's
Southern
up? North
Jaguars took
Carolina.
a L.
What's going on? B Mike, I see you, boy. What's going on, B Mike? Mark Alexander. What it do? Hurricane U, CJ87, Chuck Colebrook. Like always, it's a pleasure, brother, man. Everybody. Lee, what up? All of y'all. Y'all stay safe, man. Friday night, 8 p.m., we'll be back doing what we do. So y'all know how we start every show. And you know how we end every show. It ain't no us. Without you, baby.
Without you,
And we
baby.
out. Friday, come on, Zoe, man. We need to hear something. Lane Train, where you at?
The
It's you talk,
KD.
baby.
K City, what up, boy?